All right, what's going on? Yeah, just a topic I want to throw out. It's the history of broadcasting. I'll put this up. Let me get set up for a minute. Yeah, get me up out of here. Yeah, let's see. Shout out the new subscribers that came through, probably from that last video, and I'm just gonna put it up in here. Oh dang, already set up for me. Um, so you already set up for me. Let me edit this. Okay, let me edit it. Free. Save it. Yeah, I'm just gonna read something right quick. I know it's a little controversial, but I'll put this in the word. Yeah, I ain't gonna read much of this. I'm gonna read a few things. Okay. History of broadcasting. It is generally recognized that the first radio transmission was made from a temporary station set up to Guillermo Marconi. Yeah, Guillermo Camoni. He was an Italian inventor of the electrical engineer known as for his pioneer work long distance radio transmission developed of Marconi's law, a radio telegraph system. Merchis Marconi is. Yeah. In 1895, on the Isle of Wight, this follow on his pioneer work is led by the number of people, including Sandro Volta, and Andre Marie Amperi and Gorgie Ohm and James Clerk Maxwell. The radio broadcasting of music and talk intended to each other a dispersed audience started extremely around 1905 and 1906 and commercially around 1920 to 1923. VHF, very high frequency stations, started 30 to 35 years later. In the early days, radio stations broadcast on the long wave, medium wave, and short wave bands, and later on high frequency, very high frequency, and ultra high frequency, the VHF. However, in the United Kingdom, Hungary, France, and some other places from as early as 1890, there was already a system whereby news, music, live theater, music hall, fiction, readings, religious broadcasts, etc., were available in private homes and other places via the convention telephone line. And with the subscribers being supplied with a number of special personalized headsets. In Britain, the system was known as the electrophone, was available as early 1895 or 1899. Sources vary. And up until 1926. And in the Hungary, it was called Telecom Hermann, 1893-1920. In France, Theatrophone, 1890-1932. But the Wikipedia telephone Hermondo page includes a 1907 program guide, which looks remarkable, similar to the types of schedules used by many broadcasting stations some 20 or 30 years later. By 1950s, virtually every country had broadcasting system, typically one owned and operated by the government, in alternate modes, including commercial radio, as the United States, or a dual system with both state-sponsored and commercial stations. Introduced in Australia as early as 1924, with Canada following in 1932. But today, most countries have evolved into a dual system, including the UK by 1955, particularly every family in North America and Western Europe, as well as Japan, had a radio. A dramatic change came into the 1960s with the introduction of small, inexpensive, portable translator radios, which greatly expand ownership and usage. Access became practically universal around the world. Here goes the guy right here. He invented the radio back in 1895. There he goes right here. And there's the company, Marconi Company, was formed in England in 1910. So it's typically the early scene in 1906 with the Marconi employee Donald Manson at the right. And here goes 1916 and things like that nature. Yeah. And it shows you Lee DeForest, broadcasting Columbia photograph records on pioneering the New York station 2XG in 1916. Yeah, the British broadcasting, you see it right there. And they got one in Argentina, and they talk about Australia, things like that. Talk about the formative years and all that stuff. But Reginald, I'll get to the nitty gritty in a minute. I'm going to United States to Kirkland. Yeah. I'll give you this Wikipedia link and show you how Radio Australian Broadcasting. It shows you all that in the references. I'll put this in the chat for y'all. Let me see. Let me get this real quick. Copy. Okay. Hey, what's going on, anti-socialite? Salute. And I'm gonna paste this in here in case y'all read and all this other stuff. This afternoon, let me go. Let's go. AM broadcasting history is modulation. Okay, amplitude modulation transmission was the first method developed in making radio. Let's go like that. Oh, okay. They're showing you that. Yeah, they're showing you that. About 30 years. That's FM radio stations and all that. Here's the United States. We already know the AM. Excuse me. Edwin Armstrong. Okay. I'm just looking at some things. But yeah, I'm gonna get to the nitty gritty. Hold on. I'll read this off for a minute. We're gonna go microphone history. Hold on. We're gonna go this for a minute. See right here. Yeah, I'm gonna put this up right here. We'll get to it in a minute. Okay, get this off right here. Microphone history, causally called mic or mic, is a device transducer to convert sound and electrical signal. Microphones are used in many applications such as telephone, hearing aids, and public addresses, and system for concert halls, public events, even motion picture production, live and recorded audio engineering, sound and recording, 2 ways. Megaphones, radio, television, and broadcasting, but they're also used in computers for recording voice, special recognition, VoIP, and for non-acoustic purposes such as the ultrasonic sensors or knock sensors. Several types of microphone are used today, which different methods to convert air pressure variations of sound wave to electrical signal, but the most common are the dynamic microphone, which is used a coil wired suspended in a magnetic field, but the condenser microphone, which is used to vibrating diaphragm as a capacitor plate, and the contact microphone, which is used a crystal piezoelectric material. Microphones typically need to be connected to a preamplifier before the signal can be recorded or reproduced. Okay, I'm reading this off of the Wikipedia. Um, they show you the history. I'll give you that later. But we're going to read the early history of the microphone right now. We're going to get into it. I'm gonna get them all today. It's a lot of information right here. 1876 to 1900, Alexander Graham Bell, the first patented microphones. Alexander Graham Bell patented the first microphone in 1876. His first microphone consists of a wire which conduced electrical direct current DC. Audio signals were generated and received by moving amateur transmitter, and its receiver, and transmission was possible from both directions. Bell's second transmission device was a liquid transmitter. His first demonstrated the device at the Philadelphia Centennial Exposition of 1876. But this microphone utilized a variable contact principle to provide a more effective method of electrical signal modulation that is previous microphone design. Okay, Emily Berline in 1877. Emily Berline patented design based on Bell's liquid transmission idea. Berline's device used a steel bell placed against a stretched metal diaphragm, and the figure of E2 is a diagram of Berline's of microphone design. Here it goes right here. This is the figure 2, the figure E1. Francis Blake. Francis Blake building a Bell's initiative moving amateur design. Francis Blake patented a design that uses a platinum bead impressed against a hard carbon disc as a variable resistance element. Blake's device fell short of the initial desired frequency range, but became the standard of Bell's telephone system for years because of its efficiency in modulating telephone signals. And here goes the early carbon microphones. Here we go. After Francis Blake's invention using the platinum bead, Blake then developed a microphone transmitter that used loose carbon granule elements. Figure E3 is a diagram of the device from Blake's original patent. This early microphone design was the precursor to the most widely used microphone type from its invention to the present day. The carbon microphone. Several examples of the early carbon microphone contained in a steel vintage microphone collection are featured in the gallery below. Here we go right here. RCA Type 1, Western Electric 600A, Ellis Electrical Laboratory Module 30N, and the Continental Model 25. And we also have the military microphones. Mr. Steele, the figure E4. The Mr. Steele's collection contains at least one microphone used by the U.S. military during World War II. This later carbon microphone pictured in a figure E4 is identical to those that were used by the military for radio broadcasts during the 1940s. This particular model was often referred to as the candlestick microphone. Figure E5 is a newspaper clipping featuring the Kellogg 232 candlestick microphone being used by a U.S. soldier. Right here. Right enough in there. I was in the Army. He was like some type of sergeant. Pages of sources. Yeah. (1917s to 1940s). In the early days of broadcasting, people were often frightened by the new technology, but the solution was to cover microphones in a lampshade, like enclosures to hide the microphones from the public eye. Featured here are three examples of lampshade mics in use. Here you go. That's the early depiction of it. That's how they start out. With the advent of the commercial broadcasting in early 1920s, they needed better microphones. Arose the Western Electric manufactured brand Bell Telephone developed what was that called the electrical electrostatic and microphone, as well as the electrodynamic microphone. These later came to be known as the condenser or capacitor microphone and the moving called microphone, respectively. Condenser microphones. Let's read about it. These are condenser microphones. Condenser's been around forever, they say. A diagram of early Western electrical condenser microphone developed by Wente in 1917 is featured in a figure A1 and the Western Electric Model 7A model in figure AZ is an important on the Wente's initial condenser model and was manufactured in 1927. But the Model 7A is one of many early condenser microphones collected by Mr. James Steele. So let's say two, but the moving coil and ribbon mics following the invention of the condenser microphone were the inventions of two very small types of microphones, the moving coil or dynamic and ribbon or velocity microphones. Figure A3 demonstrates that the construction of the basic ribbon microphone during the 1930s, the 1940s, but the microphone manufacturer Radio Corporation of the American RCA made a number of ribbon microphones. But the gallery below contains two examples of the RCA ribbon microphones and the two examples of the early RCA of moving coil microphones. A ribbon that vibrates used in a new mic. Mm-hmm. This is the A3, for example. Yeah. Ribbon and magnetic arrangement. It goes to mics from 1933, 1935, RCA M40 110. 010. RCA model 44A, RC model 226, RC model type 88A, we can call. It's gone, Shade. Salute. (1940s, 1970s), the following development of the Shure Unidyne directional microphone. The Shure Incorporated developed the variable D single moving called element for the electro voice manufacturing company. This is a new element and allow for low handling noise with excellent directional response. At the time, the electro voice model 664 microphone, which used a new variable D and typical sound reinforcement applications of the era. Crystal microphones. Newly invented crystal or piezoelectric microphones had the advantage of the relatively high output signal. These were intended for low cost paging systems. Did not have high quality sound recording capabilities. But these microphones use a crystal element, which was eventually replaced by small and high energy magnetic materials. But these microphones became relatively rare after their replacement by more efficient, cheaper elements, rendering vintage of crystal microphones relatively are, despite this Mr. Steele's collection contained 3 crystal microphones. One of these, the Shure SM5B, is shown at the left. This is the static WRA40. It's electrical wave 64. Electrical voice, I mean. Atlanta's Mayor Maynard Jackson giving a press conference. Yeah, I remember him. And the Steele's collection contains kinds of microphones and major microphone types of carbon, condenser, dynamic, ribbon, crystal, and dual element. The following pages of the parts further explain these 6 main types. Of some are organized by microphone directional as well, but this page will clarify microphone directionality. Directionality, I mean. Microphone directionality refers to which direction a microphone gets its sound from. Some microphones can only pick up sound from a one directional. Others can pick up sound from all around it. Directionality is also referred to as the polar response and polar pattern or frequency response. While there are numerous of types of directionality in microphones, Mr. Steele vintage microphone collection contains of 5 types: bidirectional, that's the figure 8, the cardioid pattern, the supercardioid, omnidirectional, and hypercardioid. Of these, I got one on my mic. It's a figure 8, omnidirectional, stereo, and the cardioid. Yeah, cardioid is for podcasting, and figure 8 is like interviews, front to back. Omnidirectional is all around the room pickup, and then the stereo, of course, side to side, something like that. Right to left. This comes with saying bidirectional this is figure 8. Typical pickup pattern of the bidirectional microphone is demonstrated by figure 2. The figure 2 T2. Bidirectional microphones pick up sound from only 2 directions, from behind and front. I just mentioned that, of the microphone. This type of directionality is effective for picking up sounds from both the advance and speaker. For example, a bidirectional right, so might be used. Hold on, I messed up. Okay, in front of the microphone. These type of directionalities are effective for picking up sound from both the audience and the speaker. For example, a bidirectional microphone might be used to holding as a press conference where the office being interviewed, I just said earlier, as well as the press questions need to be channeled through the same microphone. Okay, the cardioid, figure T3, looks like a heart. Pickup pattern in a cardioid microphone. Cardioid picks up sound from only one direction, from the front of the microphone. That means that they were very effective for interviews or performances in loud places where the ambient sound needs to be canceled out in favor of this interviews or performer. Super and hyper cardioid, figure in T4. These are similar to cardioid microphones, but do pick up some sound from the behind and microphone as well. Omnidirectional, here's right here. You see the symbolism in T5. Okay, the omnidirectional microphones. These microphones pick up sound from any direction and great recordings of the natural settings when sound from many different directions is being recorded at one time. But the shotgun directionality, that's another pickup. The pickup pattern for shotgun microphones is shown in figure T6. These microphones were designed to pick up sound primarily from one direction, but But these also pick up sounds from the sides of the microphone as well as from the back. But it tends to have more pickup pattern. Yeah. Let's go with the carbon. We're going to stop to dual element microphones. That's what we're going to do. Or better yet, we're going to start with lavalier mics. Yeah, this is a good, the website by History of Microphones and things like that. Hold on. I'll give it to y'all in a minute. Hold on. We're going to go. Since y'all want to. Yeah. Got kind of drained for a minute. Ugh. Y'all with that. Carbon microphone is one of the earliest microphone types, and most of the microphones below were manufactured in 1920s and 1930s. But the initial design for the carbon microphones used a platinum bead, which present against a hard carbon disc. Later models, like the ones in Mr. Steele's collection, were more likely to utilize carbon granule elements instead of the hard carbon disc. This later model has dominated telephone, though not broadcasting, but upon the present. But this type of microphones was outshored in the area of broadcasting by later inventors, and which provide much better in sound quality. But at the right, it is the diagram. Francis Blake, an inventor of the loose carbon granule microphone, submitted when he applied for a patent on his design. See, in the gallery below, most of the carbon microphones contained in the Steele collection, though the manufacturing are years. For most, there is more precise dates, known as the only two of these RCA type manufactured around 1920, but the Westinghouse of carbon microphone manufactured in 1921. Here you go. It's all the microphones you see here. The model 261W is the Ellis model unknown, Universal BB. Here you go. Some pictures of them. We'll go with condenser. Condenser microphones is also called capacitor microphone. It is the type of pressure microphone, which is a microphone that responds to sound pressure. The condenser and the microphone was initially developed in the early 1920s. It's still widely used today, the music recording industry. These microphones are particularly sensitive to louder noises, and sound distortion can occur when recording very loud sounds, but they're very often used to record vocals, and acoustic instruments are known for their ability to capture virtual natural recordings. Mr. Steele's collection includes condenser microphones from the wide variety of eras, ranging from the early 1920s to the 1920s. 1920s, early 1970s, and earliest microphones of this type is a collection are amongst the first of their kind. The galleries below contain almost all of the condenser microphones in his collection, are arranged by both polar response type and date of manufacturing, if known. The cardioid polar response. Shit ain't that sentiment. Got me drowsy. I'm gonna fight through this shit. Yeah. Oh, excuse me. The image below contains 3 of the cardioid condenser microphones, and in the collection of the 4th is a lavalier microphone and can be seen in the lavalier microphone page of the gallery of microphones. Pick up. Direction. Here's the microphones. You see they're condensers. You see them, but they got the USB condensers. They don't mention them. Omnidirectional. These are condensers. That's why. I'm sorry. I mean, those are, yeah, I'm showing y'all more. These are condenser microphones and the models. Well, speaking of that, I'll show y'all later, but like this dynamic microphones, like the condenser microphone, this is also a type of pressure microphone. In response to the sound pressure to the dynamic microphone is based on the principle of the magnetic induction, which is wire moves across magnetic fields and inducing voltage. This is also referred to as the electromagnetic, and moving call microphone for this reason. Shown on the left is a section of the view of the dynamic microphone, but these microphones are known for their durability. These are less fragile than condenser microphone. Microphones are said to be take much louder before they, it's noises before they became distorting the sound. They're often used to musicians perform live due to both of their ability. Though this microphone is not widely spread use today, it is most commonly microphone type in the Steele's collection. The collection contains 13 dynamic microphones, large selection of which is shown in galleries below. But the galleries are routed in both by polar pattern and manufacturer date, if known. Oh, excuse me. You got a ribbon mic and a lavalier mic. I'll discuss that later. Yeah. Omnidirectional microphones and polar response, the type of the most numerous of dynamic microphone in Mr. Steele's collection. Here's Mr. Steele's collection. Oh my God, my head is swirling. Omnidirectional response, numerous of dynamic microphones with Steele's collection. Here you go. It's your classics, electro voice. Here we go. Your RCAs, cardioid polar microphones. Here's what they look like. Wow. These are hyper supercordial microphones. Pick up sounds partially directional and some noises behind the microphone. Some examples of cardioid, supercardioid dynamic microphones in Mr. Steele's collection. So you got, and I'm going to go with ribbon mic. The ribbon microphone is also called the velocity or pressure gradient microphone. It is the second most prevalent microphone type in the Steele's collection, but the collection contains 58 ribbon microphones with a varying polar response. A right direction at the right is the diagram of the typical ribbon microphone. These microphones typically have a ribbon-made aluminum foil, another lightweight metal suspended between the two pole magnets. Sound is produced when these ribbon vibrates. These microphones were once well known for being fragile, loud sound, such as gunshots, could blow the ribbon out of its magnetic hold. More recent models have been developed that are more resilient and longer lasting. The models contained in the Steele collection generally are more fragile nature. Yeah, ribbon microphones was mostly the most successful from 1930s to 1950s. RCA played a keynote developing type of the microphone, and the two of their early ribbon microphones can be seen in the gallery to the left. But the RCA model 44A is the oldest non-lavalier ribbon microphone in the Mr. Steele's, having manufactured around 1933. The RCA Type 58 was manufactured in 1934. And the RCA model 1, 4, and 10 feature the gallery below in 1935. Here we go. Bidirectional polar mic response. Here you go. The most basic pickup pattern in ribbon microphones. Bidirectional. The sound pickup pattern has a figure 8. I said that earlier shape. It picks up sound from two directions. Being the earliest sound pickup pattern is the most common type ribbon microphone in the Steele collection. And the following galleries contain a selection of bidirectional ribbon microphones, which demonstrates the wide variety of the type held in the collection. Here you go. That's your ribbon mics. These are classics. They're old. You've seen these before. Cardio polar response. Here you go. Steele's collection. Yeah, omnidirectional. Yeah. Let's go with lavalier, and I'm gonna stop. Lavalier microphones. The lavalier microphones are worn by reporters, or actors, politicians, or anyone else needing freedom of movement. During the recording of broadcasting, these microphones were originally mounted on the plate that rested on the user's chest, was secured by a strap to a belt. That the belt below. Okay, the belt below. Yeah, these originally mounted, rested. Okay, but below. Okay, WSB TV, Channel 2 News. News reporters Carolyn Sawyer gives report in 1986 used a modern lavalier microphone. Modern lavalier microphones are easily clipped onto its shirts and worn in their hair, but all are often wireless. Yeah, these are lavalier microphones. That's a lavalier mic. It's clip on, and there's your lavaliers, your old ones, and your new ones, the lavaliers. Yeah, these are your microphones I mentioned. I mentioned carbon, condenser, dynamic ribbon microphone, and lavalier microphones. And there's another one called the piezoelectric and dual element microphones. That's it. That's what we're talking about today. And if you want the history of this, is also in the wiki as well. I'm just talking about gear in general. This in the chat because I know people are watching, and we can discuss what's take place. And you know what I'm saying, like, I understand that, you know, this is not gonna be a long one or anything, but let me set this up. It's been 40 minutes. Let's see what y'all can do here. You know what I'm saying? Because I know people are not streaming, but I'm gonna do it anyway. So what we're gonna do, we'll pin this. If y'all want to come up with that, I can discuss it. Yeah, but these are the, I was talking about the lavalier and down your chest and things like that. They call it the lavalier microphone. And there's plenty of them on the chest. But yeah. We can go, we're going carbon, but we're going condenser. But yeah. We still got it up. And we're still up in here, and that's just how we get down. So, quite frankly, this is one of those things, like in a stream like this, I'm gonna keep this one up. But yeah, I'm just talking about the history of microphones and things like that. If y'all want to come up and chill, do what you got to do, you know. But I'll stay on this topic, how the evolution of microphones come in, and I post the links here I can read later on your spare time. And I just want to make this stream because it's an interesting stream, a little history on it and things like that. It did. This is something to keep up. I'm just gonna say it like that. And I don't know if I'm gonna stream tonight or not. I ain't planning on it. I don't know what topic I want to talk about, you know, actually, with the precise gear and things like that. But I know people are so emotional right now with Taz and Ramil, and I think him and GMT's about to go at, oh boy. We'll see how that goes. But yeah, if y'all want to come up and chill, if not, I'm gonna wait to the hour mark. So I'm just gonna stretch it and see what's up. So I'm still here. You know what I mean? Because I think I took a shower earlier, a couple of hours back. But you know what I'm saying? I do what I do. So yeah, all the links in the chat. Let's do your thing, but yeah, because I know people are busy. And that's the thing with me. I'm not worrying about the numbers and things like that. So you know how it goes. Yeah. Yeah. I know everybody's bouncing around in the chat. Yeah, that's how they do. That's just one of those things. And but yeah, that's what I was talking about. I was talking about these microphones, and I decided to put it up. But you know what I'm saying? But yeah, it's all types. It's a little broadcasting and things like that. But yeah, yeah, I'm just gonna look into it. But yeah, I was talking about all these, and I decided I want to talk about it. Like, I've been looking at gear lately, just to add something in my repertoire and learn about them since I got a newer one this year, and just trying to figure out what the podcast and broadcasting is about. I mean, they got history of everything. There's vintage microphone advertisements, gear, and I might talk about this. Hold on, I might talk about this. The piezoelectric microphones, also called crystal microphones, were usually primarily between 1930 to 1960 at the time. These were important to the home recording and small scale paging market, but was later replaced by low cost and dynamic and electret capacitor microphones. These microphones use certain crystalline materials which can develop voltage on opposite sides when they are bent or deformed. But in the crystal microphone, the crystals used are cut, then positioned in such a way as to produce the desired output voltage for the microphone. But the crystals are usually housed in a bimorph, which is a structure that sandwiches the crystals together. But this structure is then placed inside the microphone structure, as depicted in Figure P1. But despite the general rarity of the microphone type, Mr. Seal's collection contains 3 crystal microphones depicted on the page of the 3. One is a wireless microphone, the RCA PTP-1A, which is the only wireless microphone in collection. And that's what you got. That's what they look like. That's how it was back in the day. It's a little different. You always see these back in the day, but they don't exist anymore. There's lavalier mics and things like that. So, when you talk about dynamic and stuff like that, but the early history of the microphone, that's what we was talking about. As a part of broadcasting, or if you're doing podcasts and things like that, that's what they look like, man. You got different sources. People say they don't need it in certain gear moments, but you do. But that's it. So yeah. Okay. Cool. Cool. Yeah, man. Yeah, I'm just looking at these and just, amazed. But I've been looking at stuff that I've been seeing in the store, what I need. Like, been talking to Kuda lately, but he was explaining. I don't watch his little text streams and things like that, but yeah, see how it evolves and stuff. But I've been studying them, looking at them and things like that. Now, dynamic microphones, they're very interesting when you have a capacitor like that. And that's one of those things that you got to have in a microphone. That's like for podcasting or streaming and things like that. I mean, they're cool, but that takes a lot of work. And I've saw one guy's video. He broke down why it's important to have a certain audio and sound. But certain people like to use certain dynamic microphones. They had the XLR and they have all this other stuff. They're nice. And when he talked about them, they're super dynamic. But the condensers, they're pretty good too. Some of them ain't the best, and that's just what it is. But yeah. Yeah, man. Yeah, because I've been learning about condensers too. They're just USBs, and some of them condensers don't have USBs. They came from something with a capacitor. So I'm kind of interested. Hmm. If I can stay up, but I'll be good. Because I usually rest around this time, but I'm good. I'm good. And yeah. So I'm just on fire right now, but yeah, I was just looking at it and just looking at broadcasting and all that stuff, but I think I have talked about it I'll say I'll talk about it. Want to know if they got podcasting. Hold on. It's broadcasting. And podcast is a little different. Podcast is basically audio. This is another form of telecommunication, television, and advertising. It's all in the audio department. History of radio, timeline of radio. It's just crazy. And that's just how it is. But you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah. Hold on. Yeah. Get this out of the way. Yeah, timeline for the radio. Let's see here. Learned a lot. Control this game. Okay. Oh, 1780. Wow. To 1906. Spark up gap telegraphy. Audio broadcasting. 1915 to 1915 to 1950s. Okay. Been around. 1948. Okay. Television, text, telephone, radio. Yeah. It's all that stuff in here. But yeah. Just gonna look at this real quick. But yeah. I'm not even worried at this moment. But yeah, that's all I was gonna put on, and I'm just gonna do my thing and be like, yeah. But the history of like the microphones, I'm just talking about the gear aspect of it, like how much they come a long way. They got so many to talk about, but yeah. Let's mention this. So dual element microphones. This type of microphone combines two microphones elements, and figure D1 is a diagram of the Altic Lansing 639B dual element variables directional microphones through Mr. Steele's collection. Does not contain this particular model, but the American DR330. But the American DR332 in the gallery below are both very similar in construction to the Altic Lansing 63 9B, 633 9 or something like that, or 639B. Okay. The 5 dual element microphones in Mr. Steele's collection are all of the combined ribbon and dynamic type, as shown below, showing the ribbons and the magnets of it, the shape. And there you got the Western Electric, American DR330. Yeah. That's what they have. The CBS. They change over time. Okay, and that's it. And that's what it is. What's going on here? Oh God, no one down that fast. Woo. Ooh-wee. But you know, yeah. Yeah. But that's it. What's going on?
Hello. How are you?
I'm good. Good.
Good. Wait a minute. That new mic feeling, right?
Yeah. You know, I'm just getting used to it. You know, I'm just learning about different things of it, you know, and doing a history on broadcasting and things like that. You know, it can take you a little bit a
I
long
don't
way.
understand.
Yeah,
I don't understand how these
yeah.
people thought about taking, like, how, I don't know. I'm just, when I think about people making electric, well, not really making electricity, but harnessing electricity, harnessing sound waves, creating technology that we use to communicate, I'm just shocked. I'm like, I don't even understand how you thought that was possible. And then you create technology to actually make it possible. I'm just like, wow. And it was
Hmm.
such a long time ago. We're talking about
Yeah,
hundreds of years. I
yep.
was just like, wow, these people must have been geniuses, man. Like, I'm really shocked. I'm just like, it's interesting, and to think these are things we take for granted every single day.
Hmm. Yeah, it just came to my mind. I ain't done a topic like this like in a while, like the history of radio and gear and stuff. And I was talking to Kuda about the actual stuff like that. I mean, I decided to do a stream on this for myself. I was researching and looking around, and I was learning about condensers and dynamic mics, the history of them, and what I just read, like it's pretty simple how they make it, you know, but it's a little mathematics into it. But then it's the sound
Mm,
waves, and the people did it overseas first. It started from like radio. Then I look at broadcasting. That's what they use.
hmm.
But then I talk about the lavaliers, what they got now. That's the most common. A lot of these microphones, they put them in video games and stuff like that with the condensers, with the USBs. But the condenser didn't always have a USB. It was with a wire and a preampter. But see, the
Yeah,
dynamics,
yeah.
you have to have a thing to control the amplifier and things like that for music and things like that. I've seen some RE20 mics years ago when they did the rapping and the singing and things like that. Seen a lot of different color microphones, but never thought I was going to own a condenser microphone. You know, that's just something I use for streaming. But you know, because I start out with the headsets and then this. I mean, this is a condenser, so yeah,
Oh, because
yeah,
I was, Kuda convicts everybody about the quality of their audio. you know,
yeah, yeah.
so I was like, oh my, and I was getting a bit sick and tired of people telling me I couldn't hear you. So I listened back to some of the recordings and it was really bad. So I was like, and the funny thing is this, when I got a mic, I still didn't use it for about a month. I don't know why. It was just like, oh, I'm so used to just using the laptop. But
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what happened. Originally the laptop mic was doing very well and then all of a sudden it just sounded like I was underwater. So
Yeah, I've used laptop mics for years on different computers. I'm on a Chromebook, but on the Dell Inspiron, I had that for like a couple of years on my old pre-records. And then when I got this quadcast, I mean, it can help your little broadcasting when they say podcasting. This is just one of many. But I'm learning about how
mm,
to take care of them. You know, yes, these things can be delicate with a lot of noise. It has a gain on the bottom, but there's other ones that don't have that. They're shaped different, and it's just
what's the
audio and
gain?
sound. A gain is like a volume. It's how you sound.
Oh,
If people hear
mm-hmm,
you, you can go higher and low. And I give you an example. Like if I talk like this, I'm up
mm-hmm.
loud, and then when I go low, you know what I mean? It's
Oh
just
yeah.
yeah, it's like that. It's on the bottom, but then I saw some boom arms and things like a mic stands. People how they use them, and it's kind of interesting though. You know, that's something I'm looking into. But you know, I ain't trying to build no studio or anything. I'm just trying to test it out.
That's what I was just gonna say. if you follow Kuda, you're gonna have a whole studio at some point. And I've seen some
Yeah,
people cam up, like, and it's like I see two monitors, and I see a laptop, and I see a little mixer board, and and I'm like, wait a minute, is this what I need?
yeah. I mean, you're
Because
straight
like,
into podcasting, yeah, for the start of the 21st century. But the 20th century wasn't possible because most people was sitting down and going interview to interview. I mean, that ain't going away. It's just it's how it's used now. They're trying to make them smaller because thanks to the cell phone, that's a great equalizer. And tech is
that's
moving
true.
fast. Yeah,
It
because the boom
is
arms is
getting
getting
smaller.
smaller. Yeah, everything's getting smaller. I try to tell Kuda that for
What's
years, and
that?
he gets it. Yeah.
What's the boom mic?
Oh, boom arm is like a mic stand.
Oh, the boom arm. Okay, yeah.
Yeah,
And
the
I would like
hold the
to
mics
use
up.
one.
Yeah, yeah, they're nice. They're nice though. I've seen one recently, like a couple of days ago. They had the toner. It fits well on the desk, and then they got one with the Quadcast. I've seen theirs, and then the best one is the Rode one. It has its weaknesses, and they got this
Mm.
Blue Yeti one, the Blues brand
That's what
mic. I
I
forget what's called.
said.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But I
I
was
think I
learning
should have
about
got a snowball.
yeah. I just learned about these mics, man, and learn the history of them. I'm like, man, this is kind of, neat to learn about the difference between two, because it ain't just he thought all microphones were the same. No, there's different types. Because I remember growing up, I remember seeing
Mm.
those carbon mics growing up and reading about broadcasting as a kid. Like I was born in the late 80s and reading about them in the library. I said, why they had these type of microphones back in the day? But they had perfect names for them. But then the lavalier, the most common, the news people,
Mm.
politicians, where that with the stand in the hand, and then they have one on the chest. I said, yeah, those are lavaliers. I said, wow, okay, and they're expensive too.
Mm.
Yeah,
I can
and I think
imagine.
he's
It's
yeah,
also one that you use to wire people.
yeah,
Ah.
that's the
I was
lavalier.
looking at the picture and I was thinking, isn't that what they strap to people when you're trying to catch when they say
Yeah,
they're wearing a wire?
and that stuff. Yeah, it's lavalier, and they said, yeah, it's by reporters, actors, politicians, or anyone else needing freedom of movement during recording or broadcasting. That's part of it. Yeah, but these microphones were
Oh.
originally mounted on a plate that rests of the
Mhm.
user's chest and was secured by a strap or a belt that's fastened
Oh my
around the
goodness.
neck. Yep, around the neck.
Oh.
Yeah. And you see this woman right here wearing one. This one in the 80s right here. Like all these
Mm-mm.
stuff y'all talk about, I mean, they got it. And that's what it looks like right here. That's the lavalier mic right there.
That looks
And
like
they
something
do,
out the future.
yeah, yeah. And that one, they do have one that you can hold too. It's different types, but it's a Steels collection. Yeah, lavalier's been around forever. Yeah, it got sources on them,
Oh
but
wow.
yeah,
That's crazy. I was even thinking I was thinking at one point, did a lady invent it? No.
yeah. I mean, if you're in the broadcasting, I mean, you learn a lot. It was founded by men first, but ladies probably invented the rest of them. But it's just people's perception, how they look at it. But I've just been looking around at them. I'm just like, the modern ones.
Mm.
Yeah, that's basically it, because I was just looking at it. Yeah, I decided to get one. I think was it this month? I think it was
Mm.
I think it was this month. Yeah. I believe it was this month. And I got one. I finally got one because I wanted one from my stream. So what was it? What was it on the 3rd of August? Yeah, and I'm glad I got it. I paid like 150 on it, but it did cost 139, but it was like 140 in the US. So yeah, this is
Oh, that's not bad.
yeah, that it's not a bad microphone. It's kind of popular, like almost worldwide, but it's one of the popular condenser mics. I mean, the Blue Yeti is still popular because people use them online. And I agree with Kuda. Yeah, they a little overrated, but the good thing is there's different versions of Blue Yetis. Different, I think what you call the Snowball and all that. But it's how you
Oh yeah,
use it.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And I learned how to use them. They lean it back, and I said, "Oh, okay." And then I saw another guy, Aaron, I think BMT from the Travels. He had one. It's a couple people have one. I said, "How to use a mics like that?" And I said, "Oh, okay." And then I was watching these people that do the game and stuff showing the mics off. And I said, oh, okay, that's how they use it. Okay, the boom arm. And I was learning and saw mines on there. And I said, okay, this one's pretty good too. But yeah, it's a mic. So
The
a lot
only
of
issue I
dynamics.
really have.
Huh?
Sorry, go on. No, I was gonna say the only issue I have now is when I connect my mic, I can't play music. So it's like, whereas before I could play like a window could be playing YouTube in the background, so I could have a little music. It's like I'm trying to think now, should I get a little roadcaster? Because I always wanted to do sound effects, but I never got there. So
Yeah,
I'm always
I
late.
mean,
I'm
Rodecaster is
always late to the
nice.
party.
Yeah, Rodecaster is nice. I mean, they got some dynamic mics that do the music thing. I think a XLR and things like that. I mean, if you learn about them,
Oh,
they got channels that's dedicated. I listen to this one guy named Alan. I mean, Vandrew, whatever his name is, podcast stage or something like that. He breaks them down the sounds and gains on them. Like I was looking at his videos. I mean, Kuda does the same thing too. He talks about gear a lot on his channel. Like he show you the different dynamic ones to use and how to hold them. And he's doing an outside stream right now. But I'm just saying, like, I was looking at all the mics that he talked about. I said, man, these are good ones. But I'll probably get an extra one. I'll probably get that G track that I've been seeing. I like that condenser. It's nice. It's different. But yeah, but they got another version of this too. It's called a Quad S. It's a HyperX Quad S mic. But it deals with the colors like the RGB. You know, you can change the colors. But it's the same type of mic. You know. Yeah. I forget who has that. I think Sexy has that one.
that's cool. I think I'm definitely gonna have to get another mic, or maybe I just need someone to help me learn how to use it properly. Because I can plug it in, I can speak, but like I said,
Yeah.
I want to be able to do other stuff, and I find like it's only my voice I can hear. That's
Mm-hmm.
so I want to be able to play. I don't know how people play the music, and I don't know if they've got like a little mixer board that they're using so that they can have music while they live stream. Because it does
Yeah.
get a bit flat for me sometimes, and I like listening to music myself.
Yeah.
Actually,
I mean, I think Kuda can tell you best because he's got a whole videos, I think, pre-records about mics and gear and stuff, how to use music and things like that. He had like this what do you call this, Zoya? It's like a little machine that he got for music, and then he's got synths. Yeah, he talked about it in every stream and like in the third shift, and I'd be over there and he'd be showing. And I think I camed up a few times. He showed us, and then after that, and then I showed him my Quadcast. He said that's a good one. He regret getting this one because it has all the polar patterns. Oh, this mic can do interviews like the bi-directional. That's like interviews, and the cardioid that's podcasts, and omnidirectional is like multiple people with different mics or whatever. And then stereo is like the music and things like that. It's like right to left ear, you know. But they got it on YouTube as
oh,
well to learn about the certain microphones that you got. I mean, you just type in your mic's name and
the
those
my
guys,
mic, yeah.
yeah, all that stuff. And they got one
I
with
think
Blue
I should have
Yetis.
got a Shure. I should
Yeah,
have got a Shure mic. I
yeah,
think
sure is
Shure is
good.
better.
Yeah, sure is good.
Oh, I don't know
Yeah,
why I picked Yeti.
yeah,
It's not the snowball. It's the other one, the small one.
yeah. I've seen the Shure
Like a
S. I think it's Shure M7. I've seen that one, and the Shure SM7B and the A. They got plenty of them, and they had a commercial with the Shure with the SM7B, and I saw that with a black guy playing video games with, and he had a boom on overhead on his laptop. I said, "Wow!" The computer. I was like, they have their own commercial, so you know how that goes.
yeah,
Yeah,
that's gonna be good.
yeah,
Even if it's just so I don't have the mic standing close to me where I could just knock it over, the arm would be good just for that purpose.
yeah,
So, because they are really sensitive. Like when I listen to the playback, I hear so much background noise, and I'm just like, oh, like I have to close the windows and tell everybody to just be quiet because there's literally like I hear noise from outside, like in other parts of the house and everything. It's just like, wow, this thing is sensitive.
yeah. It picks up sound. That's a condenser mic for you. It picks up sound. This one does
Yeah,
too
it
if you turn
really
up the
does.
gain. Yeah, and the Yeti does the same thing, but the Yeti always had to pick up sounds because you have to have like wall patterns, like wall treatment. I seen that on videos when people had those black stuff posted up by their door and windows. I said, yeah, that's a sound treated room, and that's another way you can help the mic out. Now, dynamic mics kills all sounds. You don't hear it from side to side. When you talk up like this, you'll hear it. But I'm on a condenser, so I got the gains and the polar patterns. That's the only difference. But the dynamic is dealing with your voice, and you see how you sound when you listen to good headphones. You be like, oh, okay. See, I'm learning from scratch. I'm trying to get into it and learn about what is good. What's a different way of with their voices and stuff. It's certain mics masters for everyone, so everybody's different with a microphone. So you ain't always gonna have just the same one. You can get different ones. That's why I'm learning to find out. Like, wow, this is nice.
It is nice, actually. Once I started using it, I was like, why didn't you do this sooner?
Yeah, at first I should have done this like years ago. Like I didn't have the time at the time because I was doing other things on YouTube. I was in this stuff. I was doing pre-records and I was moving around a lot. So I didn't have time to do all this. And I think COVID came. I said, man, I should have did this last year and got something like
That's
this.
true.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yep. So
Well, it's good talking to you. I do need to pick Kuda's brain. Definitely pay him for a consultation or something, so that he can just talk me through very slowly, because I'm more than a novice.
yeah.
Tech is not my thing at all. But yeah, it was a good stream. It was interesting. I just can't believe. And it's crazy how technology is rapidly evolving. Now that we've kind of got the basics out of the way, it's literally changing overnight. It's actually quite scary.
Oh,
Quite
it's
scary.
gonna speed up faster. I mean, somebody's got to compete with it. Man is always gonna make those machines. It's how you use it. Use it
I
responsibly.
know.
Yeah, some people abuse it.
Well,
Yeah,
the people who are at the top, they're the
yeah. The
ones
people
who
at
are
top,
bad.
yeah, they're abusing it, and then you got people that's buying it and tearing up the stuff, and then we have to clean up, fix the ones that do know. It's just you gotta have enough sense to use it. I mean, you gotta use your creativity, your knowledge of it, and you gotta be
Mm,
ahead of the curve. You can't be lazy. That's one thing. Yeah, you'll get left behind with this stuff. My uncle said somebody's got to fix the machines exactly, or press the button or
that's
whatever.
true.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
crazy. Well, I appreciate you, sir. That was a very good live stream.
I appreciate you.
What's the plan?
Nah, I'm just hanging out right now. But yeah, this is. I was just looking at this. I was like, man, let me make a stream on this because everybody was streaming this morning, and it's just like,
Yeah,
yeah,
it feels like sometimes there's so many people streaming at one time, and then all of a sudden there's nothing. It's like, what's going on?
yeah. Let me look at
I think this
this.
morning was busy. There was a lot going on,
Yeah, I
but I
was over
didn't
at
hear about
yeah.
the Taz thing.
Yeah, Taz, I saw him in the chat over at Art of New Styles. I was listening to Kane all night, Kane the God, and then he had a good stream. He made me a mod over there because I shared his stuff. Yeah.
Hey,
And then I was
yeah.
talking to Art. Art was doing, I think it was about the hip hop stuff, the killings and stuff like that. And then I saw Taz in the chat. He was going at it with the American Negro, and then they kept calling him broken the
Mm,
bomb. Yeah. And I think he was replying to me like saying like his wife and stuff. But then he went at Ramil, and Ramil did a stream on him. And Ramil, I think his information got out about Taz. Taz called him a human trafficker. So Ramil responded and he said, let me make a stream. He was minding his own business. They left him alone. And all of a sudden,
mm.
he made a stream about it. He said, I didn't want to do this because he tried to dox me. And next thing you know, boom, because Ramil beat that case with that girl or whatever, but Taz was trying to throw shots because he realized that people is not listening to his stuff. I mean, you got blind followers, and he got on the panel though over Mills. I think it's up. I think it's in my community tab. You can see it, but it was up, and they was going back and forth. And then he caught him in a lie. Said, yeah, he admitted that he did all the things he did, and he just don't want to own up to it. But yeah, Taz is in a rut right now. I ain't taking him serious, and his wife too. They don't know when to learn. They just playing with fire. And then he's got another string with GMT. and GMT's got a stream on
coming up.
Ramil. That's
Yeah.
that's gonna be some funny shit, man. I'm like, man, I'm just gonna stay out of it. I'm just gonna laugh at this point.
Yeah, that's not really my cup of tea. You know, I came into the space a while back, but because I think GMT is very close to Reg the Bad Guy, isn't it?
I mean, he's cool with everybody. I mean, he's just a troll, but he's a smart one. Like Angerman thought he was gonna put them papers, but I guess he put the papers back on him. So yeah, Angerman better be careful. He did a lot of stuff too. You know, it's like tit for tat. Like that troll stuff. I told Kuda,
Yeah,
you're not gonna win that. You're not
with
gonna win
that.
that. You're not gonna win that. It's just that is a whole new level. When I used to troll when I was younger, that was different. But nowadays it's more physical with it. I'm like, nah, you ain't winning that because everybody's telling on each other. I'm like, it ain't what it used to be. Because everybody runs scared and don't want to duke it out or whatever. Because some trolls used to do that and they said, nah, I'm good. GMT's one of them trolls is smart. He got the paperwork, and I'm like, all right, man. And I'm just like, I'm like, Taz, I mean, he does the same thing, but the sad part is it's just he just stay taking L's at this point. But I ain't worried about him though. Like I look at him like this, like he keeps trying and trying. He wants to fit in the space.
I don't know
what
happened wrong with that man.
Yeah.
What is wrong with him?
I don't know. It's just like him and Obsidian, like they had history. I don't know what happened to him in the 2.0 era and those guys. And
yeah, when I came into the space, he was on the Rumble.
Yeah.
And then it looked like something happened and everybody just threw him out. And I was just like, well, Taz, you are a little bit of a troublemaker.
Yeah.
Everywhere you go, that shouting is really annoying.
I don't think he was a part of it. He just didn't. He tried to give it a shot. It's just he's been antagonistic the whole time. I've seen this before, like years and years ago, back in the 1.0 days, and I'm like, dudes like that don't exist. Yeah, yeah. They don't exist. I mean, O'Shea was new to the scene in 2016. Like he didn't exist back then. Like I tell people, these dudes were new to me making content like that until 2015-16 when BGS came in and we left, and then Angerman blew up out of nowhere. So a lot of these guys is new to me. Now Angerman's been around since probably the years. I remember him in 2014 when he was a small content creator. He wasn't big then. I mean, BGS was brand new. I didn't get into BGS 2019, and then and learn about his stuff, and then learn about other people in the space. Yeah, they went at Taz. I'm surprised Taz came to Art New Style this morning. That was shocking to me. And the guys on the panel started laughing. Yeah, that's Taz at it again because it's summertime. And then Ramil had to get him at again. But see, Ramil did a stream on him before and roasted him with that white T-shirt. And he's still bothered about that. So he resorted into doxing. That's the cow way to get at him in the jokes.
Oh my God. Doxing is just so foul.
Yeah. And he's desperate right now. That's why I don't worry about him. I kind of laugh at him at this point. I'm not even concerned about him. Like, you know, but yeah, he's gonna go after GMT now. Yeah, Ramil's on a hot streak right now. Yeah, I predict he's gonna get 10,000.
Actually, isn't he? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting what he says about GMT, man. But
yeah,
YouTube politics, I stay out of it.
Yeah, I stay out of the Mansfield politics. I mean, they still gonna do what they do, and you know, I'm just gonna skywatch. And I'm like, man, this is wild. And I mean, Red talked about Taz. And now Ramil, but see, Ramil did it first, and then Red saw that, and then Ramil did it again because he task kicked Mission called him human trafficker. The last time he called him that, it was over at Platinum's. When he called him a human trafficker, when he took over the panel when Platinum fell asleep, I was like, wow. I was like, why does he mention Ramil? But see, he saw that stream he did, and he was paying attention, and all of a sudden, you know, but Ramil responded back today, so I'm glad he was at Art of New Style. Then I saw American Nigga. I said, yeah, but I didn't know he was gonna come through and hit Ramil's panel. And I said, but it's in the community tab, man. It was pretty interesting. I hope he kept it up because that was a good stream. He did on him and got him. You know, he didn't want to admit it. So that's what you're dealing with. I mean, Taz has always been one of those dudes. It's kind of like Suge. He already got exposed by certain people, so it ain't nothing new. And Suge got exposed for being Cleveland Indians janitor, thanks to Beasley. So yeah, you know how it is. A lot of these dudes be lying on him, man.
I never really, I never really saw Suge. I know who he is because I think Donnie from
Yeah,
the Habitual Line Steppers put out a video about him, and I kind of came in when BMT was doing his panel show with Miss J and Nicole,
right.
and I heard about some issue with that, and I was just like, oh,
Yeah. I
he's
think
a
I've
goer.
I've seen I've seen Suge before when he went after I think it was Fantastic, and then he was on his channel in the chat. He had some simple questions, but I think they went at it with the race thing, and but he don't mess with Taz either, but they both do the same thing. So it's like when he's done with you,
What?
certain females, I forget what
Mm,
Beasley said, or I think Bullet Scotty said it best. He was on the panel yesterday. He said, he's done with you like that, just throw him away. And that's that's shook for you. But he got exposed, man. But Beasley did a stream on him, exposing him. So, and then he's upset with Beasley. Well, see, this is what happens when trolls fight each other. Now, Beasley's an old troll. He done seen it
I
all
don't know
from,
who that is.
yeah. Oh, he used to be on BGS and Art of New Style, but they have problems with him because he went after Anger Man. That's all that was in his crew. So I stayed out of that one too because Anger Man, like, I don't waste my energy on him because last time I used to troll him, I was like last year. I'm cool on that. And since I got on panels with him, I'm like, nah, I'm good. He ain't no threat to me. It's just, I was just messing around at the time. But see, I wasn't doing content as much. I didn't know if I was gonna do this. But thanks to Kuda, got me out of retirement. I said, you know what, I'm gonna say, because a lot of these dudes say a lot of dumb stuff, and then I have to critique certain dudes. But but if you want to talk about certain things, it's cool. But we got to be focused on bigger and better things. But Taz is wild to me. Taz is wild to me because
Yeah,
I don't take him seriously. He is funny though, but the stuff he be saying, these dudes, is some truth to it. But it's just a shame he's doing it by himself. It's just like a daunting task. I'm like, dude, you've been exposed many times. I don't think he cares. I mean, he's worse than GMT. It's like shit. I said, that dude is not dead yet. And I said, no, he ain't dead. It ain't over. It's the internet. You hear?
there's
It's just
always another
somebody,
day.
yeah, man. It's just I left him alone. And his channel's built by the female, so I get it,
Yeah, I
And
can't know. We can't be dealing with Taz. Oh,
yeah, that's
Taz,
how people
he's
dealt with him.
yeah.
Yeah,
No, Taz is too much of a troublemaker. Everywhere he goes, he's just.
yeah,
I mean, I don't understand this. I don't understand this social business. I don't understand this friend business, and I certainly don't understand this YouTube business. I'm just like, you guys have got time. You, you guys are really taking this thing personal. I want to make my little struggle stream and come down and go about my business.
yeah,
So it's like I'm antisocial for real.
yeah. I mean, I see everything, but I know he's cool with Ty City because of the Rumble days and things like that. But it's just like the people in the sphere, they just don't mess with him like that. I mean, they already got him. He just keeps on going. I'm like, man, he needs to tap out at this point. They coming at your wife like that. I
Yeah,
mean, she's food, man. She's like food, and she keep talking mess and reckless, and she's not even fully black like that. I mean, that's what I heard. I don't know
yeah.
if that's true, but it's sad.
I
But
think
hey,
it's true. I think she's
yeah,
part Latina and things like that. But it's like,
yeah,
why can't the ladies just leave black men alone? That's
yeah. They
the
desperate.
issue.
Yeah, they
Yeah, they're
desperate.
desperate. Constantly using Kevin Samuel's name to
Yeah,
basically.
you know. I mean,
I just look at like,
if you're gonna
damn.
use a man's name, he ain't gonna respond. You're just giving him more ammunition. That's all it is, and he's not even worried about it. He's in the
Yeah, he's not
galaxy.
really listening. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
true.
Now he watches. He just don't listen to day behinds. But us, it's like he know where the talking points come from. Yeah, he's cool with BGS and them. I already know who his connections are, and he's cool with
Oh
the
yeah.
magazine. He's cool with the magazine because if DS1 and them boys said the agency, the 10 Life Values, I'll support that because I already know he was streaming too, but I don't know if he was done or anything. But yeah, it just shows you that he's doing what he's supposed to do. And so Kendra and all them, I'm subscribed to a few of them, and they're doing the work. So I had DS1 on my channel once, a couple months back.
That?
I think it's Sheep's Stay Sleep TV. He was on Bernard's when they talk about that magazine, and they had that doctor. Yeah, he was behind all the inner workings with the doctor. He was promoting, but the doctor's known his Father's Time in the space. You ever see him on his channel? He always supports them.
Yeah. He's like the main mod at Kendra's channel.
Yeah, and he's his talking points come from 1.0 as well. So I know the guys that he used to hang with, so it makes sense. So he's familiar with the guys from 1.0, and Angerman said it on his stream. He said, I ain't got nothing to do with that. So Ronan came from 1.0, so it makes sense then. So I kind of like the A Game team, how they formulate. See, Soul and Black, Wacky and others, you already know the talking points. You're in it really. So basically, Angerman knows his thing, and they were mad at him because he had his blessing, and they was mad about a lot of things. It's bigger than just hating Angerman. They just don't want them supporting him. So O'Shea got upset. He said, I'm going to sabotage. And then DS1 tried to tell him, oh, you're a saboteur now? He said, no, I ain't going to sabotage. He said that on Bernard's channel. So, Bernard probably put it on Patreon because I already know how he rolls. But Obsidian doesn't care because he knew this was going to happen. He said, man, I'm done with y'all niggas, man. Y'all wild, at this point. And then I saw Edward Anderson going after MLT, and MLT did a video on him, and Edward did.
MLT went in first, didn't he?
Yeah, he went at him first, and then it was about the conservative thing, with silly shit that I've dealt with probably last year in the Biden election, even though Biden won, and trying, it's ridiculous at this point. But Ed had a good point. He kind of stopped the people from instigating stuff, and I saluted him for that. Ed, it's no need. He stood tall. And then I think Trey and Hood Serve tried to instigate the situation, try to get him on the side of it, and Ed said, no, I'm good. And he said something last night. I agree with him. Yeah, he's mad at BGS because BGS don't care about that domestic politics stuff. He tries to keep it to a minimum. See, he reads the stuff like I do. I don't really get into it either, because a lot of these dudes, they just don't read. They just don't read the stuff, because other countries look at you as liberal. They don't look at you as conservative, because a true conservative actually does. He's more of authoritarian deep down. Now, you do have some on the right, on the libertarian side in this country, but they have to, if you really want to be one, you have to be libertarian type. Like I see in these countries, like I've seen overseas, but if I ever traveled, I say, yeah, that's conservatism by law. You got to read their laws too. And they tell me all the time. I say, okay, cool. And that's how they look at America, because we're so liberal, because the freedoms, our amendments, laws, certain states, they try to say we're conservative. How are we conservative? We got liberal policies. I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
That's true.
Yeah, because that's how the world views us. Yeah, we got the big military and everything, but that's how they view us, man. They just, and that's what Edward was trying to say to them guys, and they don't really understand that stuff is real, man. I saw that last night, and I slept good, because I knew it was silly at the end, because they was trying to go Edward to pick a side, but that wasn't gonna happen. That was not gonna happen. It was not gonna happen. And that's how I stayed up. And yeah, I think I watched Thai City too, with the guns and stuff. He was talking about something else. And then I think I fell asleep, and I was at Cane's. And then I woke up and saw Art of New Style, because I knew I was going to do this stream today. And I said, you know what? Let me do this stream around 3 something at Eastern time over in the US time. And I said, you know what? Let me do this. Let me do this. And I waited. But then I saw Taz in the chat, man. Shocked the hell out of me. And after that, I saw Ramil going at Taz. It's a mess, man.
True, actually. Yeah, he does come around every so often, and he disappears for a while. Then all of a sudden, he's just everywhere. That's true.
I see him everywhere. I see him over at Platinums, because he's cool with him, because they go back to the days of Obsidian, O'Shea, and yeah, he'll derail the whole panel. And I think Platinum will
Always.
delete the stream. Yeah, that's what he does. But
That's
Ramil
why I
kept that
wouldn't
stream
bring
up.
him up. That's
Yeah,
why I wouldn't bring him up because it's too chaotic.
yeah.
My head can't take that.
And the funny thing is, I'm glad he don't come over here because he know I don't play that stuff. So I guess he know who I am. So you know how it is. But I don't take them
Yeah.
seriously. See, I don't go after the females. You know why? Because I don't give them no ammunition. They have nothing to say. They'll lose in an actual debate. You know, I'll bring facts and links on them. And see, they ain't gonna go after guys that will destroy them. You know, literally. See, you got other guys on them too. So it's like, what's the point? I mean, you mentioning her, you giving her more, blind followers. But eventually they'll turn.
Mm-hmm.
I seen them turn and join Red. And I said, yeah, I see. And it's funny too. Yeah, people unsubscribed to him before. He got upset and they got upset. So there is a shift. I've seen it for many YouTubers I've subscribed to. They lost subscribers. It happens. I mean, that's part of the
It's part
the
of
thing.
the part of the course. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's true.
And then Beasley said it's a lot of cults. Yeah, Angerman's got a cult following, BGS too, but he's more reasonable because he don't have the members only thing. He lets you speak and tell
BGS is
yeah.
a very strong cult following.
Yeah. And I can tell by his panelists, man, and that's what they do, man. They out here.
I'm glad you told me to go and watch the stream about BGS versus was it Jay?
Oh, JG Speed. Yeah, it all started on Roger Report, and that it was about ignorism and the pro-black. But the people that back them, they know them. They behind the scenes, they have the same people they communicate with. And that's why they didn't go in depth like that. So they kind of gang up on him when he was dropped down again, and he tried to use a derogatory term with the alphabet group. Yeah. And he told him, chill, it's YouTube. And then he didn't care. He said, you see, I didn't get my point. But I thought it was gonna be good, but J Speed did it right. He didn't want all of them up there at the same time. So Thought kind of ruined the stream. He kind of ruined it for several reasons.
Crazy.
Yeah.
He came up there and he was saying some very weird stuff, I think, like Kevin Samuels is saying this and saying that. It's like, what are you talking about? Was he the one arguing about I don't understand why people have such an issue with this high value man concept. Why people lose their minds over it so much? I don't understand.
He's one of many. I've seen this a lot at Roger Reports. It starts there, and Roger needs to quit having panelists like that. I mean, try to tell Roger, like, look, if y'all love KS, that's cool, but everybody doesn't care. But these dudes need to stop bringing them up. That's why Angerman stopped going on his panels, because he has a problem with KS. Because not everybody cares for him. I respect dude, but I don't care for his stuff. Like, I don't even watch his stuff like that. I treat everybody the same. You know what I mean? I'm doing my thing, me only. I let them be them because I know KS.
I used to watch him religiously. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
No, I was saying I used to watch him religiously, but it's like, work. Can't manage it now.
Yeah. I used to hear about him a lot last year. I stayed to Georgia, but even though he lives in Atlanta, he lives in different places, but his main home's here. So I already know where he stays. It ain't nothing new. So it ain't that deep. I tell people like, yeah, he's still in Atlanta, still does his thing. So it ain't no issue. So I'm not surprised.
I just appreciate his platform because of the gems that come out with the conversation, with the women coming and actually exposing themselves. It really vindicates the manosphere because it's like a lot of the things that black men have been saying for the longest while. It was really a back and forth between the women and the men in the space kind of thing. And it's like, before you could say, well, these men are just saying that because they hate women. But now you kind of see for yourself. And when you look at the responses, like the comment sections, the response videos, the "you need to shut him down" videos. I mean, I've seen people make entire channels just to go against Kevin Samuels. I'm just like, wow. And then when you go through those comments, you realize this is a good picture of what the women who are online are about. Do you know what I mean? So it's like, that's what I appreciate about his platform. Oh,
Yeah.
it's definitely the space is changing. The space is changing. It's definitely become a lot more business orientated.
Yeah, some people are, people gonna do the same thing. Like to me, I'm just focused on my stuff here, and
Hmm.
just try to focus on my audience. I have mine's diverse from different uh parts of sectors, and people follow me based off my older content. I try to be
Hmm.
evergreen. I try to be evergreen over here. That's my thing. I try to be different from everybody else. But
That's good.
that's what you gotta be at this point, because I get it. I get why people do those topics. I mean, yes, it makes a lot of money, but Kevin's on a whole nother beast. He had a purpose how he laid his out. So I'm not even worried.
Hmm.
Yeah.
It's true.
Okay.
Oh, another week has gone.
Yeah.
I know this for you is like the first day of the week. Is it?
Yeah, it is. This first day of the week. Yeah. Yeah. Tomorrow's gonna be something else.
Why? What's happening tomorrow?
I'm kind of free tomorrow, so yeah.
Yay!
Yeah. I don't stream until Wednesday. Do another subject stream, and that's it.
Hmm.
The Friday, I'll do another Friday special. I like the first one, but the second
Hmm.
one, yeah, I got one in September. So, it's a lot of streams I gotta do from this week.
I
So
hear you.
yeah, yeah, it's different topics, trying to diversify my channel. But I've been looking at other things, so I ain't even worried. But yeah, Edward last night, he kind of controlled that stream. I mean, I applaud him for that, man. That went well. It went well because
Hmm.
you got what you wanted out of the individual, and then and he saw what he saw, and it's going to continue. And Kuda said this early in his stream, like the Sunday, what you call it, smoke. He talked about, dudes be talking about this wild stuff online. I said, yeah, it's a lot of them gonna get locked up. It's what they do offline, and it catches up with them, But hey, you out here, just got to be careful, man. Like, I wish him well. Don't
Hmm.
talk all this trick nonsense, or not just game, but we already know game is just a finesse tool that we use over here. But the tricking aspect of it, the trick game is even worse. I wouldn't even do it, because if you want to legalize prostitution, they still gonna lock your ass up, because the women wins the end of the day. I hate to say it. Single moms,
Hmm.
divorced women, and anything relationship, they're gonna win regardless. I mean, the men is like on the bottom. I get it, but what's the point talking about? It's like checkmate at this point, because we don't have a system or agency. That's why the magazine is just a beginning, but now it's the start of it. So yeah, I'm gonna take
Mm-mm.
this off screen share, but yeah,
I hear what you're saying.
yeah, it's one of those things that you have to be mindful of, because a lot of people just get caught up with it. That's why I try to just be careful, because some people, they be on some wild stuff. You know,
It's true. I hear
yeah,
what you're saying.
yeah, yeah. Hey, that's why I don't mess with Bernard like that. I mean, they have those god awful conversations. I'm like, I don't know why his platform is the way it is. It's gone down. To me, because I didn't really care for him
Has
at the time. So, yeah, to me, it has, like, it was decent last year. It's just he got caught up in the wild stuff and the arguments and things like that. I'm like, dude, I know he's competing with Ramil. Yeah, he's got a whole separate audience, but 9 out of 10 people gonna get tired of that. I try to tell Kuda, they're gonna get tired of it. I know how YouTube people are. They're fickle. They pick and choose who they want to listen to. I mean, I know subscribers. I know people. That's just how they are. They're gonna pick
Mm.
somebody and say, "Oh, this guy's great. Oh, it's shiny. Wow." And like, yeah, I like this guy.
Yeah.
And that's how it is, you know. And I understand it. That's not just black people, but people, period. You know, you just got to be careful how your audience flip on you. And that's what happened to, I think, Fantastic. Then he got upset with us and Kuda. Like, we didn't mention him on the naval ship. That's his trolls talking. And that's what Edward couldn't stand. Well, Edward, you got a lot of instigators that follow you. You know, you better look at your, you know, your descriptions probably from your thing. So yeah, he has to be careful. He has to be careful. A lot of people gotta be careful. It's just, you just gotta make sure who you have in your chat and things like that. You know, I'm careful too, because I'm learning a lot about being a host than a panelist. A panelist is easy. I think I did
you just show up and talk and say what you like.
and all that. And the commenter, that's easy. But when you're like the host, it's a little difficult because you're used to being the panelist, but you got full control. You got to know how to control your channel. And that's how you gotta be. I learned it from a few people. You know, Wacky, he does his structurally. Like I said, it's him. I think Gold Professor and BGS are the only three that's done well. They don't allow the wild stuff to get in there. So they try to keep it fair. Now everybody else is a little different. Now Kuda's panels used to be hectic and he's getting better. So, you know, he's limiting certain things, but he's on time constraints. So, you know. I guess it's nighttime over there where you at, huh?
Yeah, it's 10 to 10.
Oh, wow. Yeah. That's some hours. Yeah, you
I'm
gone
gonna
the next day.
I've got to, yeah, man. And that's one of the reasons why I'm a little bit discouraged, because it's like the vast majority of my audience is from America and Canada, and it's not really fair to them to stream at a time that's good for me.
Yeah.
But I've been super busy, so I've got so many videos backed up, and it's like part of me doesn't even want to really do them because the crest of the wave has passed. Do you know what I mean? But it's like, if I'm going to touch on the topic, I'll squeeze the stuff into other videos to make it, because, you know, Sister George did this topic today, the breakdown, talking about fast young girls, and I wanted to cover that.
Yeah, I saw pieces of that. Yeah.
Yeah, it was an interesting conversation, and I wanted to do that topic because of the girl who got her father killed, because that was the stance I would take. You know, at the end of the day, I understand you want to go and be with your boyfriend, but you know he's not really stable, and your father moved you from one place to the other to get you away from him, and you go and call the boy here again. So it's like, I might still do it because my audience is not necessarily their audience. And then I also have people on Instagram who have a totally different audience from the Manosphere. So
yeah. And that's good to have an audience like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's good to have different audience.
Yeah. Because what I find is when you have the same audience as other people, you always have to factor in when you're going to do stuff, because you don't want them to have to choose.
Yeah.
Like, no, I've got my audience and I've got my people, and they'll come round when they're ready.
Yeah. I got a different audience myself. They skywatch me. They come from my old pre-records, and I tell them half of it is Manosphere. That when I started these streams before that, it was a different audience. Now I did have Wacky and a few others because we come from a different community and different people from all walks of life in different areas, from search engines to, I think, Reddit, Twitter, and things like that. You know, I got my own little sector. You know, even when I had those websites, but I tell people that's how my channel. So I had 1,000 2 years ago, because when I left the space, my numbers and my subscriptions went up because of my pre-records, what I did and the work that I did. So that was from taking time. And then when I left to try and find a job and things like that over here in the US, in the South, you know, I just try to let my platform grow because it's evergreen like that. You know, people go, and it's new people who was coming in back at that time, those years that I missed in these spaces. And I came back in 2019. I was listening to Kendra D, BGS, and Red Supreme. And then BGS kind of brought me into it again because of the pandemic, you know, watching this stuff about the Mandalorian, the Black Pill stuff. Then learned about Angry Man and his little stance and Charles Faulkner. You know, I was listening to them. And then after
Oh
that, I
yeah,
think,
when I came
yeah,
in, the Grey Faulkner Initiative, and
yeah,
the Black Order.
yeah,
I
yeah. And
was
then
like,
I think,
wow.
I think I saw Fantastic's video. I used to subscribe to him and cut him off in December. Same with MOT with, I think, March from around this time in the summer. That was like during, I think that was after Brain Trust, and then Brain Trust was after Fantastic. And it was him. But those two I cut off after this year, and then I decided to clean my whole subscription. You know, that whole nonsense with game versus non-game. But it was on Zero's panel, and then I was looking at
Mm,
that. I was like, I had to pick a different circle because that's not what I want in the future. Because they talk about the same old stuff. I said, nah, I want something different. And then Kuda was perfect. When I saw his old stuff, I said, damn, I missed a lot of great conversations. You know, it's more my speed. But you know, I talk about
mm,
this stuff on my channel, you know, the other stuff, and then I'm like, all right, this is what I want, you know. And I had to look at a channel that I can go regularly, but everywhere else, I'm decent. So you know,
yeah.
yeah, because I already know how people move out here, so it's interesting. But you know, the newer spaces, it can teach you something, you know. But this type of platform, talking to people in the panels, your audience, it gives you that feel. And I understand what BJ is talking about. Yeah, I talked to my old subscribers in the chat once a few times. So yeah, this is gonna work. But I do self live stream sometimes, you know,
Mm.
out in the backyard. So that's about it. But after
Yeah,
that,
it was
I'm
nice.
good. Yeah, I do them regularly. I just see what's going on in the space and then just head up and just stay in the clouds and just be me. But yeah, I do structural streams. I mean, I think the longest string I did was open topic. That was like 5 hours. That was in the morning over here until the afternoon. We was talking about the rap battle with Locks versus Dipset. So that was a good
Mm.
stream. And I did another one. I think that was a half of a full panel. And then I noticed AB Media's coming here more often and a few others. So, you know, it's good. I had two heavy hitters. It was Tie City and DS1, Sheep Stay, Sleep TV. So it's
Oh
pretty good. It's,
really?
yeah, you know, those two, like, those are heavy hitters. Yeah. I ain't got plenty more since then, but, you know, I'm around. You know, people used to see me in chat or on panels and stuff. I said, no, I
For
had the
real.
channel. I had a channel. I just haven't invest in putting streams on it. That's the thing. I should have did this
Mm.
last year and the mic and everything else. I said, you know what? But thanks to Kuda learning about his platform, how he does things, I said, you know what? I gotta do something like that.
Shows
But then I
around.
did an after stream with Kuda, and I think I had Fasten on here. He says Wi-Fi messed up, and that was a decent stream. But I had to do it for him because I had to do a stream on a Friday nights stream as well
Mm.
that day. And that it turned out good. So I said, yeah, this is nice for me. You know what I'm saying? Like I gotta have something. So I schedule the times I'll be streaming. I can't do it around people do it like I think Art does his Tuesday and Fridays. But see, I don't go on our streams on panels like I used to on Friday. So I kind of stay in the clouds or in the chat in that one. But the Tuesday streams, it really don't matter. I only usually do those unless it's important. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I see what you're saying.
yeah. I got my patterns
I'm
how I do
outside.
strings.
I understand.
Yeah.
I'm outside and my battery's about to go.
Yeah.
Because where I am, there's no reception. If I go inside, it will definitely cut off.
Oh wow.
I know. I don't know what's going on. I think the building is blocking the reception. It's terrible.
Mm.
But it was nice. It was nice. Thank you for having me on your panel.
Oh, not a problem. You're welcome anytime. Yeah.
Yay! Yeah. I hope you have a good week.
Oh, you too.
I'll try and do some streaming at some point this week. Maybe I'll just try and do some quick uploads or something.
Okay.
So I hope to see you. I hope to see you around.
I'll be around.
And thank you for everything.
Not a problem.
All right, I'm going to disappear.
Okay.
So have a good evening.
You too.
All right. Bye.
Bye. Yep, that was that. Hold on for a minute. Hold on for a minute. Yeah. Yeah, I'm back. Yeah, it was nice talking to Anti-Socialite. She came through. We here. Thanks you. Yeah, I'm about to kill this stream. Um I'll do a Sunday chill. I'll be back around, should I say, about 8:10. It'd be like an open panel, whatever, because I think I'll be back at 8 Eastern time and things like that. Yeah, we here. What's going on, Tampa? Salute. Yeah, I'm gonna shut it down because I was just talking about the microphones and stuff. All the stuff is in the chat. Y'all can look at. I posted the links and things like that. So I was talking about different microphones and things like that. But yeah. But I'll see y'all guys later and things like that. So it'll be an open panel stream. So we'll see, and I'll come up with something. All right. So with that, I want to say peace.